sign language. So right now, we're looking to find, coaches to help in that. If you guys have any leads, I highly, I'll take them. We've gone to the deaf school, we've gone to Disability Commission, we've got emails out there for, all sorts of things. You know, we're even open to the parents when they're registering their kids. Is there a family member, is there a caretaker, a cousin, anybody that we could bring on that they're comfortable with? All of the parents are very flexible with it not having to be a professionally certified. They're happy with students, anybody that can communicate, especially out on a basketball court, you know. So that's one of the challenges that we're having right now. Moving on to positives and new initiatives. Our winter programs are filling up really nicely. Right now, we've got wait lists for 3 out of our 4 basketball programs. Both Start Smart hours are full. The K through 3 co-ed clinic is full. There are some spots available for the 4 through 6 co-ed clinic. Ice skating is going really well for the next session. Our last session just finished up this last Saturday. Right now, we've got over 80 participants with wait lists for the basic beginner levels for the next session that doesn't start until January, which is fantastic. This last Monday, we had a karaoke holiday party with the Framingham Includes All group. There were 9 participants. There was dancing, there was karaoke, there were arts and crafts. It was fantastic. We held that up in the classroom over at Loring. Swim team practice started this month. Right now, we've got 37 participants, which is great. Coach Arnie and Coach Gina are doing a fabulous job. I've left registration open until January 5th, which is the week before the first meet. So if people are still interested, go right ahead and register. If they have any questions, give me a call anytime during the day, and I will be happy to answer any questions. Spring and summer program is almost complete. Kaylee and Anthony have been doing a fantastic job putting our spring and summer program together. Right now, they've got almost 30 programs established and ready to go for the spring and summer, which is fabulous. And just in case you have not seen them out and about, the soldiers are out. Obviously, it's very popular. The first post that I put up on Facebook alone had over 12,000 hits, which is a 98% increase from like the week before, which is awesome. Is awesome. Yeah, absolutely. It's very cool. So if you haven't checked it out, go to our Facebook page, go to our Instagram page. I think I posted blues number 21 and 22 today. Up there and find the soldiers. And under miscellaneous, I've got just an update to the cyanobacteria that was over at Washington. That advisory was lifted on November 18th. So right now, all of the lakes in Framingham are good to go. Anybody's going, but I don't know. At least they're safe. Let's put it that way. You can go skate, exactly. And that's all I have. Do you guys have any questions?
I have another comment.
Sure.
Going back to the sign language for the coach.
Yes.
I think it's much easier to find any coach who wants to coach and then finding somebody who will help the coach.
We have coaches. We have coaches to coach. We just need people to interpret what the coach is going to be saying to the students.
And the parents are not able to.
The parents, I think, want a break, in all honesty. And in some cases, a couple of the parents are also deaf. Yeah. So they're not necessarily going, it's going to be a challenge. Yeah. My eyes and ears and door is open.
Any of the teachers of Framingham State?
So that we've reached out to Framingham State. They do have an ASL program. We have not heard back from them. I think we've made 3 different phone calls.
They're probably checking out for the semester.
Right, and then the other closest program, I believe, is at Essex, which would be a hike. So we're trying. We haven't given up hope yet, but we'll figure it out.
Thank you. Questions, commissioners? Everybody happy with the report?
Awesome.
Thank you for a motion.
I make a motion to accept the report.
Second.
Daco, yes.
Okay.
Already, yes.
Bolton, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, on to park maintenance, please. Mr. McGinty.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How's everybody doing? Everybody ready for Festivus? Almost that time. Okay, you've all seen the report. have any questions, I'll just go over it real quickly. The routine maintenance, we're in trash pickup twice a week, usually Mondays and Fridays, but depending on how we see it being used. Equipment maintenance, constantly there. Field, this is basically from the first week in November. That's why you still see field painting, the fall sports, and the fall cleanups. For projects, being from the last month, we have the wooden soldiers that were taken out and put out through all the different locations. Building winterizations, all our outbuildings have been winterized. All our irrigations have been winterized, and at the same time, we do our repairs. We still have to work on the repairs at the Callahan Senior Center that are incurred when they're doing the bridge project. And we should be out of here, I think, by the and they'll pick up the second. Batting cages, we worked with the SOAR department workers and equipment operators, and we were able to make some serious modifications to the batting cages over at the Little League complex by digging out the suitable materials and repacking it with suitable material and then grading it. And right now, it's all ready to be put back online this spring. Little League is very happy. Christmas green sale, that was very successful. I asked them to stay Friday night until 6, so employees who work, you know, in the city, who haven't had a chance in the past to get there because they used to close at 4. So we had our light towers out, and they sold out by 11:30 Saturday. So very successful Friday and a very successful project.
They were on the news this morning on Channel 4.
Were they?
Yeah, they did a highlight, a holiday highlight about the garden club going on 90 years, and it featured the retail.
Yeah, so that was very successful. And whatever was left over in their greens, they donated to the horticultural program over at Keep Tech. So I think next year I'd like to try to have them work kind of together, and the students can learn from some of the, because some of those, I'm going to say women because it's an all-women group, are very talented, and I think there's a lot to be learned
Yeah.
from them. You know, I think it'd be great kind of give and take there if we could have that program.
Sure, they love to.
Hardscape repairs and removals, the benches, the benches, the barrels, fence repairs, things like that are ongoing right now. This is the time of year when we try to get back. Pep rally that was here. We finished up as best we could with the aeration, the fertilization, and the overseeding. We have to get back out there. The weather gets a little bit warmer, we'll probably try to do some overseeding in the Glenmouth areas and the different soccer fields and the football fields, especially a bit long. Up there as best we can, but with backstop and fence, I'm working with Jim right now to finish up the Walsh backstops and whatever fencing out here at Bowditch and some changes also, and so. Again, I'm working with Jim on the winch tennis, the modifications and change out from having an asphalt to a post tension. We can get a 25-year solar field. Right now, I'm waiting to hear back from the department on when they're going to. Here, we're going to have to take that one. We ordered some laundry type cards so we can fold up all the netting. I think it's going to be a learning experience. Watch the oval very carefully and mark out where everything goes because not a long time, but I think it's a great time to put them down, hold them up, so we can put the rest.
Video it too, while you're at it?
Yeah, and tag everything. That's what I'm going to do. Dog park, they came back out and they made placed some of the dead material. They lifted up the gate. Problems with them was scraping. I can tell you about the dog park. We had one full interment at Edwards. We'll be having my laborers retire. Paul Smith and Jimmy Morales. The leaving on the 3rd, so. It's, you and I and Jim. And filling in, because those two positions, dealing with that as quickly along with the other working points position.
I just want to make a comment. Thank you for latching the gate. This is, neighborhood is so quiet right now. Because that's at every one park over there to pass there and going, different things going on in it. I cannot believe how quiet it is back over there.
Yeah, too.
Well, it doesn't matter, because once they always get there. As long as it's not snow blocking the entrance, it's a party going on.
The portable fencing, portable, right?
No, that's not portable.
They put it in there.
Fuller, they're putting in, they're taking where they left off with the black vinyl, bringing it from endpoint where it is now all the way up towards the school.
Okay.
And back down, going across towards Route 9, and then going back down. They want to encircle the whole field with,
Misunderstood, I somewhere I thought.
No,
Taking
no.
it down. and
I'm
putting it
taking
back.
down the netting, the
Okay.
high nets.
Gotcha.
Has to be done before they can install, because it's supposed to be doing some flooring. And I think with the first year, we'll see how it goes. That's where I'm at.
Any other questions, Shannon?
And this one's on you, Colbert.
Motion?
Motion.
Very good, please report.
I'll second that.
Awesome.
Yeah, if we could just try to speak
Louder.
louder if we can, yeah. Yeah, because not everyone can, the microphone isn't catching everyone.
Okay, turn it.
Clearly,
We
yeah,
turn it a
so
little better.
if we could try to do that, thank you.
Capeco, yes.
Hawk, yes.
Parade, yes.
Olson, yes?
Wonderful. Okay, director's report.
Hi, thank you. You stole my thunder a little bit. I was gonna mention, Sam and Paul, that they're retiring. And just if you don't know who they are, they've been around since 2006, working with the department, so an awful long time. They'll both be retiring on January 3rd. Sam Morales, a great guy, a lot of specialty skills, especially with masonry and carpentry, so will certainly be missed with that. And Paul Bunky Smith, if you know him or not, highly respected athlete, coach, and referee for Framingham for a very long time. Some of his specialty skills include, baseball infield maintenance. It's certainly one of his passions, and so certainly we want them to hopefully keep in touch, after they retire, and we wish them the best of luck. I also have for you a copy of the letter of support for the CPA. This is for the gardening group that they had come and asked for. So if you want to pass that down, this is essentially what Kathy had come up with, and we sent over there and signed. So just wanted you to be aware of that. And that was for the feasibility study. Mentioned 2 parks more specifically per your recommendations. And, all those applications, the deadline has passed, and so all those have been submitted and are going to be under review, and we will, as I mentioned earlier, wait to be called in and then, explain our projects at that point. So just wanted to share that with you. We have a new administrative assistant here, Framingham resident, Michelle Blaclair. Is that how you, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a kind of a French pronunciation. Blaclair. So she is with us, and she seems to be, picking up things very fast, and we're excited to have her aboard. And she'll be taking up a lot of the permitting pieces that we do here. And So, you know, again, we're working with her on ramping that up. I know I mentioned, you know, capital budget, in the past couple of meetings, we did get some direction for operating budget, which will be due January 16th. So we'll have an opportunity to go over some of those, suggestions or recommendations probably at our next meeting, and then we'll do a vote on that and then get that going. So January 16th, we'll start to go in front of, the finance subcommittee. And this is strictly for operating right now, and then at some point we'll be called in for capital as well. So we'll go ahead and attend those, and I'll let you know when those are happening. So just in terms of project updates, I know Chris did touch on a couple of them. Mary Dennison Park, again, just as kind of a reminder, this is privileged and confidential information, so I can't necessarily go into too much detail. But we are making some headway, and we're meeting with DEP and the mayor, and we're getting close to a solution. You know, A.B. Dennison Corporation and both parties, environmental council, the CFO, and I have all been corresponding to strike an agreement on the settlement, so we are getting closer there, and you know, once that's ready to be made public, we'll certainly, you know, let you guys know exactly where that stands. Winch tennis court replacement, we've been working on the final design. Much of our parks projects right now, we're not in construction, we're in design on many of them, and Winch tennis court replacement is one of them. We're working on the final design with the goal of putting it out to bid as soon as we can. So, so that's going well. Arlington Street Playground design, I know there was some questions kind of about that. I think we do need to still put something out there with QR codes and posters. I don't believe those are out there, to answer Liz's question. You know, we do have a list of design elements and things. We're working on our website, trying to do that. So we will keep you certainly apprised of how the progress is going there. We held a second meeting, and that was on 11/19. What I put in front of you were the plans that were presented that day. If you want, I can quickly kind of walk through the 4 concepts. For the public's benefit, I can go ahead and hopefully share my screen. I'll pull my screen up. Yeah. Share.
I think the first one also has a splash.
So here we go. Yeah, I can walk you through kind of each one of them. Concept 1 deals with the basketball court sort of in its existing location. I'm gonna, and you know, I can have the engineer kind of explain in a few more details. We're going to be coming back with some final recommendations after the new year. But yeah, the concept, let me start with concept 1 here. So concept 1 has the basketball court being moved to the side, but with no splash pad element. So you can.
And the last one doesn't have it either. 1, 2, and 3 have it.
And make this a little bit bigger.
1 and 3, 1 and 4 don't have, only 2 and 3 left. If the other 2 I want to go for it.
Yeah. So, so the first one shows movement of the court, which allows us a little bit more green space to come off the aqueduct. Some of the recommendations that we heard were, you know, obviously the addition of green space, the addition of shade, having a multi-purpose court for both futsal and for basketball or other court sports. So having that kind of flexibility, having playgrounds for a couple of different age groups. There's some pictures in there of the types of things that we could use for playgrounds. So I think several of the children that happened to be there had a good time looking at some of these elements and telling us kind of what we liked. We solicited that feedback. Again, you know, safety or security lighting as well as cameras is also a consideration. And so we'll be looking into that when we go to the overall proposal too. In looking at the second concept, let's close these other pages. So that, has, the playgrounds are pretty much the same with the shade shelter in between. The basketball court is moved over, to the side where it parallels the fence. And then here we have added, what could be potentially a splash pad structure. There's some pictures in there of what things could look like, you know, some taller elements. It's a flower, it's a frog, it's, different spray structures, certainly to provide a cooling area, a cooling center, as well as, you know, certainly some additional activities and things like that. So, again, those were the two concepts, with a splash pad or without a splash pad, moving the court over to create a little more space. In alternative 3, again, it's going to be the court stays the same, and we add a splash pad element, and that's in the corner. You can see up top, again, it's got some buckets there, some spray elements. Court, again, you know, looking at futsal and multi-use sports, basketball and others. The playground is configured slightly differently, you know, with some different kinds of features. You can see there's a globe kind of climbing structure in the upper right-hand corner. Obviously some swings and stuff that were added over in the lower left-hand corner, as well as some other elements for individuals, things on springs or things that spin. So a lot of different things for kids to do. And then the last one I have is alternative 4, and that takes the splash pad out and creates a little more green space. So we definitely have some options to look at. I think it was pretty well received by the people that did show up to the public forum. I don't know, Jose, if you've had an opportunity to talk to anyone from your neighborhood or solicit any additional feedback.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
We still have a little group for the neighborhood, and safety always becomes the first question. You know, what kind of fencing we're gonna have, that's the adults, and then the parents that were there, they have kids were, we don't want this park unless it has a splash pad. And then as I'm looking at all the plans you guys gave us, only 2 and 3 of the floor plans that we have here are the ones that have them. So
Yes.
I'm leaning towards 2 or 3 if I had to vote on this, but I think the safety with the lights, maybe cameras, just to be safe, and the splash pad so far is the only thing we have talked about.
Okay, so it looks like we're going in the right direction.
Oh, yeah.
With this, certainly always open to more feedback and input. You know, we'll look at some other ways that we can try and collect some of that feedback. You know, some that were mentioned earlier, having a QR code or something where people can, you know, get a closer look at the plans and things like that.
There was one more thing they mentioned, they were talking about a bathroom.
Yeah.
However, this park, we wanted to keep it local for the neighborhood. Whoever wants to come to this park, we're hoping that just people from around the park. Putting a bathroom there is gonna attract people from much far away. So I think that, you know, it would decrease the amount of time that people will spend there, but at the same time, we'll keep people that are not from the neighborhood out there. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but a bathroom, we all agree that a bathroom is not a good idea. Not sure if that makes any sense.
Well, it's funny because, you know, a lot of our smaller, more neighborhood parks
Yeah.
don't have restroom facilities. A lot of our larger parks or larger facilities, or certainly, you know, the field complexes do have bathroom facilities there. So, yeah, I think that is in line with what generally has been done in the past. And certainly adding a bathroom does bring on other safety concerns that, you know, I appreciate the neighborhood sharing those, so.
There isn't a bathroom, public bathroom in the whole downtown Framingham, so putting the bathroom here is gonna attract a lot of people that have nothing to do with what the park is there for. And that's what we are kind of discussing about.
Okay, thank you for that feedback.
I'm sorry?
Didn't that come up as part of the
Yes,
discussion that day
exactly, yeah.
at the park?
So this is where we're at with this. The plan to move forward is essentially to, again, solicit some more feedback, try to incorporate all these ideas into kind of a one conceptual design that we will pitch certainly to the mayor, city council, yourselves, and the general public. We'll roll that out, when it's ready. So, yeah, it has been about a month for that meeting. This is an architect that's working on a couple of different projects for us. And so, yeah, when that information is ready to roll out, we'll certainly present that to you guys. The Chris Walsh Memorial Trail design, that is, so that is also moving along. I did have a meeting with the mayor and some others on the design concept. We're still fleshing out some of those details, but again, when that is ready and in a more final draft form, we'll certainly bring that to the commission and have you, you know, give your feedback on it and everything. But again, I think that is also a project that is exciting and is starting to come together in a lot of ways. It's going to, I think, really add to certainly the connectivity down to Farm Pond, and as well as the enjoyment of walking around and enjoying the open space down there. So I look forward to bringing that to you as well. I did touch a little bit on the capital, you know, and I'll circle back with that next month once some final decisions kind of have been made, and bring that to you guys as some of the, you know, the mayor's recommendations and some updates. So right now we don't have a lot of updates on that because we haven't really begun the budget process a ton as far as, you know, the finance subcommittee and everyone else. So other things that we are working on though are the splash pad, you know, feasibility study. We'll be looking at that in 24. We'll also be looking at the Washacum, you know, beach park design in 24 as well, potentially. So other initiatives that I think we touched on a little bit with Chris was, you know, some of the lighting needs over at the Longs complex. So we are looking at those. We're looking at some sound upgrades still at Loring Arena, and we're working with the designer there to iron out a scope of work that will then drive the rest of the process. So we're working with that. And I think that is about it for my report for tonight.
Commissioners, any questions for Jim? No? A motion? Motion, anyone?
I'll make a motion that we accept the director's report.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Hideko, yes.
Hawk, yes.
Sorry, I guess.
Olson, yes.
Great. All business, new business? Nothing on all business, okay. Commissioner reports. Mr. Hideko, anything to report?
No, as I mentioned earlier, that, you know, the CPC grants that you're looking for have been taken in, and we're in the process of breaking them down, starting to look at them. There'll be questions to be answered, back and forth, and it's going to take a while. We did get some new news today that the state is kicking in more money, so I don't know what our total budget will be, but it's going to be a good chunk of money that we'll be able to spend. So we're looking forward to funding some of these projects and moving forward. Quickly, you're getting ready to start to meet with what budgets for next year. Anticipate staff cuts. Anticipate a budget cut.
The recommendation right now, in terms of directions, has been to level fund, the level service, thank you, level service to the best of our ability. And if we do have outliers of increases or even significant decreases, then they want memos to that effect. And so we'll provide those justifications and plans around any major variances that would be coming. But generally, they're asking for a level service budget.
The reason I bring it up is, you know, Washacum was mentioned again.
Yes.
They're looking for more services over there, and I just want everybody to be aware that with level funding, it's going to be difficult to add services.
Right, right. And, you know, some of these things, like, you know, the restrooms and things like that weren't in the budget last year. We're planning to put some of those things in the budget this year, so we can account for those.
But it's stealing from one pocket, putting it in the other. If you're going level budgeting, you're not getting any more money to do this.
Right. Well, you know, so there has been a request for bathrooms at Cushing, and bathrooms at, the beaches. We still don't know our lifeguard situation or what our staffing situation is going to be. So, yeah, there's still some things that we need to
Yeah,
sort out before we get to that
Mentioned
point.
a bigger beach area, I mean,
Right, and, some of those things, again, it's not just a matter of like expanding the beach area, there's other considerations in terms of what's in the water and what's, on the beach in terms of native plants and other things.
it's
And then security of the swim area, for the lifeguards that we have,
I'm
so.
not trying to be Nancy Downer, but bottom line here is I just want people that are at this meeting to understand that there are budget constraints put on this department. And, you just can't keep making things happen without money. Or
Agreed.
staff.
Agreed, yes. And, we do have the new Pocket Park, we do have Fuller Fields, which are now online, and we're still dealing with the same, if not less, staffing, not because it was cut, because a lot of our positions were reinstated, but because we can't necessarily find the labor force.
Your two retirees are huge.
Landscaping right now, lifeguards, some of these frontline positions, admins, these are tough positions to fill.
Yeah.
And the citywide has been struggling with trying to fill some of these positions. And I don't know if anyone has landscaping companies or anyone that helps them out, like around the house, but I've heard those services are struggling now too, to get the labor force to do a lot of that work. So, yeah, it's, if there are increases, we will note them in the budget and again, provide the justification around that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, I'm all set. I'm involved with the Title IX, so we're working on that, representing Park and Rec interest in that group. And we also had Jim attended the, environmental justice
Yes,
the other night,
climate,
which was
yeah.
good, and I feel that Framingham is really in great shape. I was in that little subgroup that we got put out to. I was the only Framingham representative, and it was interesting how we have a lot of things in play to really accommodate people that might be challenged with staying cool during the summer and things like that, compared to some of the other towns. So I think Framingham's doing a good job, a little bit ahead of the curve on.
That's great. I also shared some of that information in our group, how, we have splash pads coming in with playgrounds.
Right.
We
Free
offered up
beaches.
free beaches since COVID,
Right.
to try to work with people and provide, space for people to go to and cool off in the summer. We also expanded the range of times where we're testing from, it's not gonna be Memorial Day to Labor Day. Those are the prime swimming kind of times. Not many people swim before, not many people swim after, but during those time periods, even if we're not guarding, we want to make sure that the water quality is there.
Right.
And I also mentioned how we work with Board of Health and post all those water quality reports, the blue algae reports. We put signs in 3 languages right on the fence if there's any sort of issues. And I think a lot of people in those working groups from other towns were impressed with
Yeah,
the level that we are
Yeah.
trying to inform and work with the public
No,
in multiple languages. So,
totally agree. Totally agree. We're ahead of the curve.
so thank you for going to that meeting
Oh,
too.
no.
I appreciate
No,
your
it was
support.
a pleasure to represent Framingham. We were ahead of the curve compared to some others, so it was great. Okay, so it looks like we can adjourn. If I have a motion to adjourn, unless you guys just want to hang longer, or,
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
okay.
Good day, go, yes.
Talk, yes.
Correct, yes.
Bolton, yes.